Hey everyone, happy Friday and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So pretty much today worked on these two beauties here. So this red 64 Beetle that we're doing a transformation on here. Wheels, tires, suspension, brakes, making it look like a canyon carver, and it should be pretty capable of that. And then worked on this guy as well. So let's take a look here what I did. So I'll go ahead and start with this one. This is kind of the order that I worked in today. If you follow the channel, you know that one of the main things this car came in for was adjusting the rear suspension. It was literally 1 3/4 inches lower in back than it was in front. I mean, they normally sit a little lower in back, but no, not almost 2 inches. So yesterday, tore the back suspension and stuff apart and adjusted the axles. It's sitting, of course, high now because, as you may or may not be able to see, it's on a jack stand because I was doing some other things I'll talk about later. But so got the rear suspension adjusted yesterday. Pretty happy with it. I haven't taken it for a drive. It may settle a little bit more, but after kind of rolling it back and forth in the shop and bouncing the rear suspension while doing so, you can get them to settle pretty good like that. It was pretty much level. So I'm guessing that when I drive it, it may settle a tiny bit more in back. And so if anything, it may end up with the nose up slightly, but I would be surprised if it was more than like 1/4 inch, which is about right. So anyway, that was mostly what happened yesterday. So the other thing that came in was apparently hadn't been sort of running great. And so I did some other things on it. I adjusted the valves. I think I did that yesterday too, actually. Adjusted the valves, and then it sounded like it might be having some carburetor issues. So that's kind of where I started today. Was I went ahead and pulled this carburetor. The motor, I don't know what this motor is. It's not, so this is a 65. It would have came with a 40 horse. It does appear to be a not 40 horse, so it's like a 1300 and up. So the more modern motors. Maybe a 1600 single port, maybe a 1300 single port. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in a way, I suppose. It does have a 40 horse distributor on it, which looks kind of appropriate. And, to the untrained eye, this looks like it could be a 40 horse maybe. Anyway, all that aside, it's got a sort of generic replacement carburetor on it. It's got one of the H3031s, which they're actually pretty good little carburetors. I've had pretty decent luck with them. They seem to run okay and be tunable and stuff. And so anyway, it has one of those on. So I went ahead and pulled it apart and pulled off the top, and it definitely had some very fine debris, almost like I'll call it almost like silt in the float bowl. So it's possible that it had some clogged passages in some of the jets or whatever. I didn't see any sort of smoking gun, so to speak. But nonetheless, I went through the carburetor, cleaned it all out, shot all the passages with carburetor cleaner, did the same with all the jets, cleaned it all out, put a rebuild kit in it, and put it back together. So I did that. I replaced the fuel hose that goes from the fuel pump to the carburetor, because when I pulled it off, the end of it was looking a little frayed, so I just went ahead and put a new one on. I also pulled off the fuel filter, which that's part of the reason the car is sitting up on a jack stand. So the fuel filter is where we like to put them, which is by the transmission down here. So I pulled that off, and the fuel filter also had like a little bit of, stuff in it. It seemed like it was doing its job, but then again, the carburetor had a little stuff in it too, so who knows. Anyway, new fuel filter, replaced part of the rubber hose down there, braided with braided German hose. And then his back brakes, to me, felt a little bit loose. I should have done this yesterday when I had the suspension apart, but it slipped my mind. So I went ahead and adjusted his back brakes today. Funny thing is, this side I adjusted like literally a click or two on each adjuster and got it to where it had the amount of drag that I like them to have. This side was actually a lot looser on the adjustment. I probably went on each adjuster like 3 or 4 clicks. So yeah, it should definitely have better braking now on this side. The other side was, pretty close, but yeah, it should have more even and better braking now side to side. And so the next thing to do here is pretty much start it. So the carburetor, I'll have to prime it because it's empty since I had it off rebuilding it. So prime the carburetor, get this thing started. Yesterday, as I mentioned, I did check the points. They were actually right on, unlike the valves, which were all out of adjustment. And I need to check the timing advance and then take this thing for a drive, get it good and warmed up, and then do any fine tuning on the carburetor. And I think that may be about it for this beauty. I'll have to go back through my notes and my correspondence with him. I think that's really all he wanted. Again, main thing being back suspension, and then just kind of like a once over on the car and some, tuning and running issues. So this one will probably be done pretty soon. Okay, so that's that one. So the red one today, so my neighbors across the fence, Candido's Garage, were able to get me the tires that I wanted much quicker than Tire Rack was going to be able to. And for the life of me, I couldn't think of the brand of these tires yesterday. I don't know what's wrong with me. These are Kumho's. They're Kumho Ecsta PS31s. And look at that. They even have a checkered flag on them. They must be racing tires. No, in all seriousness, just a really great looking aggressive tread. Love the way these look. And again, we ended up going with a 185/55 on the front, which was about the widest tire that I thought I could put on the front of this car with given the offset and stuff of these wheels, plus the disc brake kit and the beam and everything all sort of adding up together. And I honestly, to me, I couldn't imagine it having ended up more perfect as far as how the tire is sitting in the wheel well. So for basically creating or turning, kind of morphing this car into a sports car, for lack of a better word, to me, this is perfection. So these are pretty fat. A 185 is a pretty fat tire for the front of a V-dub. Most guys are running much narrower tires. So it definitely gives it a very purposeful look as far as being a car that can, take some turns and so on. Anyway, so Candido got the tires, and then I had his team mount them up, and we put them on. And then the back, we spent quite a bit of time playing with different thicknesses of spacers. And the way we do that is we basically just stack washers on 3 of the lug studs, wheel studs, to simulate different thicknesses of wheel spacers. And so where we are now, which I think looks pretty darn perfect, and it's a really nice match, I think, to how the front wheels sit. So this is basically a 1/2-inch spacer plus the drum skins. And then the drum skins, the way they sit on these drums, they actually needed like 1 washer between the drum skin and the drum. So that's also spacing stuff out a little bit. So if you add all that stuff up, so again, 1/2-inch worth of spacer, the drum skins themselves, and then kind of thick washer between the drum skins and the wheel, we're probably spacing these out maybe like 5/8 of an inch versus if they were just bolted right up to the drum. And the drum skins, yeah. So you can see them kind of shining through the D-shaped openings on the wheel, and then of course in the middle. So this was kind of my thought, was to make it look very similar to the front, where you've got this, aluminum hub kind of showing through there instead of like a ugly brake drum. Anyway, but yeah, I'm really happy with how these are sitting. To me, it's pretty much perfect. From the back of the car, you can kind of see the tire. Again, it's got about 2 degrees of camber now. You can kind of see it coming out a little bit, but then it sort of, as it goes up, it sort of tucks into the fender. and, you know, kind of goes nice with the body line there. So yeah, I think this is it. The car right now has a little bit of rake, which I think looks pretty perfect. Well, it's sort of up to the owner at this point, and I think he may actually stop by tomorrow. I may bring the front up a hair to level it out, because again, this is a car that's being put together to handle. So usually we wouldn't run much, if any, rake on a car that's supposed to handle. You usually want them to sit more sort of level. But then a little bit of rake does give it a very purposeful look. So yeah, we'll see. It's kind of up to the owner. It seems like where it's sitting now, nothing's going to rub or anything like that. So it's more, at this point, just kind of like a stylistic look. If he wants it to sit more level like a sports car, or he wants it to be a little bit raked, like it's got a little hot rod in its blood, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway. So yeah, super stoked with how those are coming out. I've been sending the owner a bunch of pictures. He seems really happy too, and I told him, wait till you see it in person. The pictures, to me at least, it looks way better in person. So yeah, Jacob and I kind of played around with this, working together with various space. I think we started off with like spacing them out 1/4 inch, and then we went to 3/8, and then finally 1/2 inch. And this is where we ended up. So looking good, if I do say so myself. So the other thing that we did was got out all my alignment equipment here, and we did a quick alignment on the front. It had a little bit too much toe in as the beam was set from the factory. Had about 3/8 of an inch of toe in. We've got it right now at about a 1/16, which is about where I like to set them. And we did check the back. The back is actually at 0, which is pretty much perfect. And that's it. Next step for this car, I'll probably come in tomorrow and work on it for a little while, is to actually put the gas tank back in. And then I can't drive it yet because I need to get longer wheel studs, and then I need to get the actual spacers, because again, these are like stacks of washers. So yeah, can't drive it. But go ahead and put the gas tank in and get it all ready, and then probably come like Monday or maybe Tuesday at the latest. Hopefully I'll collect the spacers and everything else I need to actually like bolt these on. So the only other news is that the motor, so the engine case and the internals and stuff like that for the beautiful mouse gray bus went over to Brian Roth's shop today, and he will be sending a bunch of parts off to Brothers Machine Shop. They'll do their thing, and then Brian will start building the long block. So yeah, and then we'll get started on the engine tin and stuff like that for this, so that hopefully when the long block comes back, we'll be ready to put this thing together along with he's got a bunch of restored parts in this box here already. So yeah, hopefully by the time long block comes back, we'll more or less be ready to assemble this motor, and the car itself is pretty much ready to have the motor installed. So this thing should be finishing up pretty quick here once we get the motor going. So that, I believe, is it for today, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, just one quick last note. And if you noticed, the blue One Family 64 is gone. Owner came and picked it up this afternoon. And so, yeah, now I need to look at my list and see what's coming in next. So keep your eyes peeled here. We'll hopefully have some new project or two coming in here in the next, I don't know, maybe next week sometime. So thanks, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.